So my name is Vishwanathan. I am the Chief Technology Officer at Maxbay Technologies, Director for Technology. And in this series of masterclass, in this session, we are going to look at the data-driven enterprise for using Power BI. Right. So when we talk about data now, with all the enterprises where the term Industry 4.0 or Smart Factory or Industrial IoT is the key or high area where everybody are talking about, where the data collection and real-time monitoring is happening in most of these industries. So which is enabling the data to be captured and stored in the large quantity. So this is giving a more data to be available for the users, and the heterogeneity of data, the various from various data sources, and it is causing a lot of problem for them to to really understand how to use the data with the large data volume that is coming in, and from the data, what is the key insight that one needs to take it. So that insight to understand, so from the data that is coming in, what is the context of the data set that is coming in, and how to understand the correlation between each data set, and how to use this insight into a meaningful decision. And that decision which is coming up from the data, how it can be scaled to the entire organization, and how to convert them into an action. So these are some of the key challenges the organizations are now facing from the advent of more data collection and the data monitoring that is happening around the world. And so this is also in line with how the organization strategies are drilled down. So from the market scenario, the corporates are coming up with the strategies to be for the operations, and those strategies are segregated for each finance, operations, and marketing strategies, and drill down to the further management. And it is implemented till the end process, where people and processes are executed using those strategies. Now the challenge here is again, so how these drill down of these strategies and planning are effectively happening actually in plan. So that monitoring and that real-time visibility to the top level is a challenge, and again the data plays a critical role in understanding the current processes, and how the systems are being implemented, and how these data are used for the decision making processes, and the respective action how they are taking up. So these are the key challenges that organizations are facing, and the various amount of data that is generated in this case with various assets or people at the organization level. So that is growing day by day, and making use of their own data for the competitive advantages become a need for the current scenario. And to become effective in these scenarios, companies needs to become data-driven enterprises that can maximize the utilization of the data and the value, and treat it as an individual asset by itself to better efficiency. And these businesses embed the data and predictive analytics as at their core to become completely data-driven enterprises. And to become a completely truly data-driven organization, they should uh, link the clear strategy. And nowadays, the data on cloud is one of the critical strategies that is coming up, because where the infrastructure and resources needed for having a better analysis and the analytics to happen on each of these data sets are more efficient and available at the cloud level more than the on-premises level. So these are some of the critical strategies that one needs to look into to have a data-driven enterprise to be enabled. So in this scenario, the data is available at from heterogeneous sources. So from people, process, or even individual assets. So at different levels, the data is available. So one needs to have a clear strategy on how the data needs to be collected at all the levels, and how to collate it at different levels, and how and what data needs to be processed and stored at the on-premises level, and what data needs to be processed and taken up to the cloud level to have a better visualization and understanding from the data sets. So why this is very much important is more than having it requires to have a more than having a quality data, and the adoption of the culture and the tools to allow these processes will enable them to make smart decisions and quick decisions. And they have to start using this data collected to these various processes, and to make this happen, the data driven decision making will help them in improving the efficiency. So it starts from understanding of the current business processes. Where for that business process, the data acquisition and exploration, and the data processing actions like cleaning and modeling, and then visualization, and from there, how it is impacting the business. This complete closed loop system needs to be enabled for this same processes. So this is one example or representation of how data is used to enable from just an insight or a raw data to a complete wisdom. So data is available in the as available in the first image. So the data is available. So that data one needs to have an understanding to look into and make sense of the data to arrive at some information. And that information on that understanding will help them give the knowledge on how these data is connected. So that brings the knowledge. And from that knowledge, the data helps in the visualization helps in bringing the insight. So how what are the key elements from the data set available for some of the action or the important activity that needs to be done, and the wisdom from that understanding will help in connecting the key events that needs to be looked into to have a clear outcome and action to be taken upon. So all these things from the raw data to this wisdom, so the visualization and the insights plays a major role. So there are various forms of visualization available with the various tools that we are currently using. And a Power BI or any BI tools are providing various tools and visualization to help in improving these processes. And it provides various statistical insights and information based on the data that is available. And these provide various qualitative and quantitative understanding of how the data is, and various tools to understand the processes and patterns, and identifying the outliers, and arriving at the core data visualization. So as you can see on the right hand side, so these are the various visualizations nowadays with the BA tools are providing. So in the form of comparison analytics, in the form of various distribution insights, and the various composition relationship insights in the form of ready-to-use charts and widgets that are available that can be applied on the existing data set to arrive at the required correlation and meaning from the data sets. So why these visualizations are important? Of course, so this helps in providing easiest understanding for the data set, and it helps to understand the complex problems and identifying the patterns and the relationships in the outliers in the data. And it helps in understanding the business problems and take the action based on the insights that is available, and will be able to understand the reason or story of what is happening based on these visuals. And the visualization is also the basic step, the preliminary step to have the next level of analytics, like a predictive or a machine learning kind of technologies to be coming in. So there are various business intelligence and visualization tools are available in the market, like Tableau, Power BI, and Click, or even there are various open source tools are available. And so here in this webinar, so in this session of Masterclass, we will be focusing more on the Power BI and how that Power BI tool helps in visualizing and understanding the data, and how it helps the organization to become a data-driven enterprise. So before any visualization or data analysis process, so these are the key steps that is needed, even though if we have a large amount of data sets in hand. So these are some of the key steps that needs to be taken. So one is, of course, the gathering of data set, and understanding and segregating what kind of data that we have in hand, and validating and cleaning the data to have the right information in hand, and improve those data set if needed based on the sample or data that we have, and use the data to have a better visualization. So these are some of the 5 steps process that is critical for preparation of the data sets. And the challenges normally one face in this data preparation is, most of the time it is mostly it is either inadequate data set is available, or the non-existent of the critical data point that is needed. And most sometimes the critical data point is missing, or the data is incomplete, or the invalid data is available. And the key naming differentiation, either it is a duplicate data is available, or the naming itself is completely wrong of the specific data set. So all these corrections and the improvements needs to be done on these data sets before this gets processed and analyzed in the further processes. So the cleaning process takes place from importing the data set into any of the tools. It could be a manual process, or it can be a tool driven, combining the different data sets. These data is coming from various sources. Either it could be coming from IoT system, or it can be coming from any enterprise applications, or it can be a complete manual data set from Excel or a Word, or any CSV kind of forms, or even for that matter, any manual data sets that are available in the existing processes. So all those data sets needs to be merged, and it has to be standardized in a common form, which is used in the data analysis tools. So those normalization and the cleaning, deduplications, all these processes take place, and it has to be verified and enriched before being used in the visualization systems. So this cleaning will help in eliminating the errors in the data set, and it gives the verified data to be used for analysis, because based on these data, the visualization and insights are given, and these insights helps in the decision making process and the respective action based on that. So it is very critical to have the right data, verified data in place. Otherwise, all the actions or decision making that we take based on these data set will be a wrong, will lead to a wrong impact. So that can be enabled using these steps. So some of the visualizations or the kind of insight that we can get is in the form of dashboards or various reports, or in case of the BI tools, we can get various statistical insights and the contextual insights as well. So we'll come to the contextual insights in the later part of this session. So what will happen is the raw data in the form of Excel or any manual data set that is available can be easily converted into and a visual representation, and which helps in understanding the data more better than looking at the Excel based systems in place. So this is one such dashboard that is available from the open sources, where the similar data set is used from heterogeneous sources are converted into the visual representation. And in especially in Power BI or any BI tools, so there are various options that are available. So in this case, the anomalies and trends and various features that can be seen, which enabled and can provide better insight to the people that are looking at it. So how it works is, as we told, so the data collection coming from various sources. Let me just take a pointer. Yeah. So the data coming from various sources. It could be from cloud, or it could be from any ERP system, or it could be any database or any sources that are where the data is currently available. And a Power BI, where the data, the visualization dashboards that are developed and published, and it is published to an online service called Power BI service, where the data, real-time data storage and the gateways are connected to fetch the data in real time, and it is visualized in the dashboard. And these dashboards are accessible in the form of mobile app, tablet, or a web application. And this publishing process mostly primarily as a cloud based deployment where a lot of primary features are available, and these dashboards can also be deployed as a in some limited functionality and features can be deployed on premises using the feature called report server. So the Power BI service online, which is online, and the report server, which can be deployed in the on-premises instances, can be accessed using a mobile or a tab or a web application in the laptop or desktop computers. And these are the various data sources that can be connected into the system. So starting from the file-based data sets from Excel, CSV, XML, or any folder SharePoints where the data can be accessed, and any direct ready-to-connect database connectors that are available. All the data common databases that are being used directly interfaceable, and being a MS platform, the Power Platform, like a Power Portal and Power Database are directly connected, and Azure systems and various other online data services can be directly interfaced, and any other resources. So these are currently the various heterogeneous sources that can be connected to the BA platform, and this data can be used for the visualization. So on top of this, there is an important feature called Power BI DAX, which is Data Analysis Expressions, which is instead of just working on simple like a slicing and dicing kind of operations, it also gives the capability to do like a formula and coding extension to the existing data platform, Power BI platform, where the automations and the various business logics or calculations can be enabled to process the raw data that is available. So using this, the automation of data collection and processing of the raw data, and these functionalities can be extended, and various queries and formulas that can be implemented to enhance the data that is available. And these capabilities will help in creating various insights and connectivity integrations to the external systems as well. So all these things we will have detailed sessions and seminars on the upcoming sessions, where how each of these can be used to visualize the data and use powerful visualization and insights to make understanding of the data sets available. So this is one of the important point that we were initially talking about the contextual insights. So what we see is like a dashboards or a reports or even insights, or like a static dashboards where it provides the visual representation of the data. Whereas this contextual insight is something where for the current context of the user who's looking into the data, looking into the system, so what is needed, so how it can be represented. So that is the contextual insight that we are talking about, where instead of just randomly going through all the dashboards and screens that are developed and implemented, so when the user logs in into the system, so he will see only the information that is critically needed for at that point in time, and for that information, what is the action that needs to be taken. So that actionable insights will be displayed for the users who can take action into it. So that for the right time, so the critical action driven data is shown to the user, and with that, what is the action that needs to be taken, and the right content of data is shown, and only the relevant information is shown to the specific user, instead of showing all the fancy dashboards and widgets that are in place. So this is one of the examples of the sample insights and the visualization that is developed for one of the manufacturing customer, where so the data coming from various sources. So it is connected to an existing ERP system, and it is connected to an existing IoT system to take the real-time production of the shop floor machines. and the quality systems, and of course the manual interface from the shop floor operators and the quality operators and supervisors. So all this from these heterogeneous sources, the data are collected, and these dashboards in Power BI seamlessly integrates to all these systems and show this the business BI visualization for the specific users, and all based on the access rights. So the data access can be restricted, and only the specific insights can be given to the people who's required to look into the application and the data set. So this is the another example of the contextual based insights. So which is also as an available feature in Power BI, where instead of the traditional dashboards and the visualization, so we can utilize the like a Google search engine kind of an insight, where instead of just looking and clicking into the dashboards and seeing the data, one can simply search and get the required insight. So here you can see Amada is a machine. So what is the part count on the Amada on maybe a specific shift or a specific day? So that can be just simply searched, and that particular insight can be taken here. So, so these kind of dashboards and insights can also be enabled using these tools, Power BI based tools. So various like by month or by machine or by operator. So all these dashboards that we need to, instead of creating as an individual dashboard, it can just simply be typed and searched and retrieved. And this system also learns how the user is looking into the system, what kind of information they are searching for, and they are looking for it, and those data automatically gets displayed to the user in the subsequent visualizations. In summary, so these are some of the key steps that one needs to take. So one is having the right data set in place. So what is the strategy for, first of all, collecting what kind of data that is needed, and enabling those interfaces, and connecting those data systems into a common data pool, and making it available for the visualization or the Power BI or any BI tool that is connected. And so based on that data, what is the insight that can be enabled to provide the transparent insight to the users. And and more importantly, it's also important to have a right data experts in on board to do all the like pre-processing and enabling the right insights for the business based on the business goals, and enabling those dashboards and systems to the users. So these are some of the critical steps that needs to be looked into to enable the data-driven enterprise for based on the data that is available.